I'm Ramesh Goud, Assistant Professor of English, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Dundigal, Hyderabad. Today, we are going to discuss about barriers to listening. So, what are the barriers to listen effectively? Because we have been connecting to many things, and when we are connecting to people, when we are watching things, when you are watching videos, so when you are watching when the people they are talking, so in what way we are listening? In what way we are listening? So from that listening, what we are going to get? It should be effective or it should be in a normal. So everyone will expect that effective listen is a very very important. Why? Because by effectively listening makes us to understand clearly. So the things, the actions, whatever you're doing, that moment, if you listen effectively, definitely you will become a effective speaker. Because my dear, just I would like to tell you that without speaking, without speaking, we cannot survive on this planet. Especially for human beings. If you don't communicate in a well manner, so the people they will look up and down. Because the people they will look at you, the people they will give the respect, everything, whatever you are expecting from the people, based on your speaking. So that speaking skills how we get, how we can speak. Do you think is it possible without listening? No, without listening, we cannot. We cannot get it. So that's why what I want to say here, listening is a very very important. Everyone knows that. Let us see one by one. We'll discuss. I hope you people you will understand, you will listen effectively, and by end of this video, you can able to understand what is the importance of listening. So yes, see, we have some barriers. What are the barriers for listening? Obstacles, problems. What are the difficulties to listen effectively? To listen someone, to listen the audience views, right? Because these are all listening is very interlinked with many things. Without listening, you cannot give the feedback. Without listening, you cannot give your opinion. Without listening, you cannot do anything. You may give, you may speak, not in a proper way. But if you listen properly, definitely you can. Because I would like to tell you here the listening, the difference between listening and hearing. Right? Because hearing is just we can hear. Listen means lot of differences there. We can pay the attention. We can pay 100% attention. We can concentrate on the things. We can concentrate on the speaker, words, emotions, tone. What is the intention behind that? We can concentrate on that. That is the listening. That is the listening. Hearing means just we can hear from here. We can hear from here. So you may not understand well whatever the speaker is speaking. Right? In the same way. So that's what that is the difference between the hearing and listening. So here today we are talking about some barriers. Right? So what are the difficulties to listen to become a effective listener? Once if you become an effective listener, automatically you will become an effective speaker. That is my intention to make you watch this video. After this video, you can able to listen. Then you can become a powerful public speaker. Okay, right. So let us physiological barrier. First one, if you look at the first one, yeah. Physiology means the state of human body and mind. Physiological barriers of communication occur due to the physical condition of sender or receiver, which might even be physical disabilities. It includes sensory dysfunction and other physical dysfunctions. My dear, see, try to understand this word meaning physiological barrier. You might have heard about this. Some people they are having mental disabilities, physical disabilities. Because of them, some people they can't hear, some people they can't see, they can't speak. So these are all, you know, difficulties they are having. Right? So when the people are having these kind of difficulties, so they cannot listen. They cannot listen. So very highly impossible to listen. Whatever the speaker, whatever the people are talking. So these kind of people who are having these kind of problems, they cannot. So it is one of the major difficulty to listen. Okay, physiological barrier. As I said, disabilities. The people having disabilities. Okay, this is the one of the major barrier to listen. Okay, next one. We'll look at the next one. Next one, the physical barriers. Physical barrier is the environmental and natural condition that act as a barrier in a communication, sending message from sender to receiver. Organizational environment or interior workplace, design problems, technological problems, and noise are the parts of physical barrier. My dear, see, as I told you that we have some barriers. It is second one. See, if you look at physical barrier. First one, physiological barrier, that is the disabilities of the person, whatever he is having. Now, physical barrier, you might have seen the people. People, because as you observed, especially if you take the classroom, physical barrier is the environmental and natural condition that act as a barrier in communication. When the class is going on, right? So we can get more sound. We can get the noise from the people. We can get the noise from the door when you are going to open and closing it, when you are going to open the window and closing it, and when you sit in the class and you may get that sound of the fan, right? So these are all, and when the people they can move the bench, the chair from here to there. So such kind of situation, such kind of environmental, so you may get that noise. So such kind of things, such kind of difficulties, because of such kind of difficulties, so we cannot listen. We cannot listen. Absolutely, whether you believe or not, because we don't know. We can't notice. These are all things. How our the mind is distracting from the things. How we are getting such kind of disturbance. Actually, we cannot notice. These are all things. The sound is coming, and the people who are coming inside, we can look at him. The class is going on. The class is going on. So who is going outside, who is coming, who is going, and so we can pay the attention on that. So that's what these kind of difficulties. So we cannot pay attention on what is going on and what the speaker and what the teacher is explaining to us. So if we avoid these all difficulties while you're in the classroom, definitely you will become a effective listener. Okay, so you try to avoid. And let us see the next one. Attitudinal barriers. Attitudes are commonly formed by an individual's opinions or personal feelings on a subject or a person and can be difficult to alter. When attitudinal barriers override the sense of professionalism in a workplace, it can become difficult for a group to engage in a productive communication. My dear students, here see, if you look at this phrase, attitudinal barrier, you might have heard about this attitude, the word meaning. You might have seen this, right? Everyone is having some kind of attitude, some kind of attitude. You might have observed. I too have some kind of attitude. Others they have a kind of attitude. Everybody, everybody has a a different attitude. Okay, but we have a problem with that attitude. What kind of problem we have? If you have a problem, with what kind of attitude do you have a problem? And the people having this attitude problem because they can't listen. They are not willing to listen others. They are not willing to accept others' opinions. They are not willing to look at broadly from other perspective. Attitude problem. Why? Attitude problem. If you look at the workplace, I too have some experience at workplace because I can see every day different kinds of people when I interact with the people when they are in a high position, right? So they have that attitude, different kinds of attitude they are showing. Then I can understand myself. I'm not saying my attitude is good. My attitude is excellent. Everybody will accept. I'm not saying that. Everyone is having different attitude, but which is accepted by the people because our attitude should not hurt others. Our attitude should not interact in a communication. Our attitude should not disturb others. Our attitude should not make others to feel bad. Right? So our attitude should be we have to speak when you are interacting with the people, we have to speak in a good attitude. So we have to give the respect to the because the people when you're speaking, the people they will observe what you are speaking, what way you are speaking. Because whatever they're expecting from you, you may give it. You may give it. Right? But how you are giving that? While you are giving that, any information or any data or anything, some people they are asking you, they are expecting from you, right? So how you should be. Anyway, you are giving that, but in what way you are giving? What is your response, right? So if you show right, on a good attitude towards the people, definitely they can understand, they can listen, right? So that's why if you have this kind of attitudinal barrier with the people, so definitely in personally when attitudinal barriers override the sense of professionalism, it's a professionalism to our workplace. It's a very dangerous. It's very dangerous. It can become difficult for a group of engage in a productive communication. It's very difficult. So that's why my dear, so try to avoid this bad attitudinal barrier where you're speaking, where you're listening to others. Okay, so we try to make ourselves to listen everybody. First, you let them listen, let them speak first. After speaking, then you keep on listening. Once if they complete, then you can respond. So in that way, we have to make ourselves. Okay. So next one, wrong assumptions. The success of let us see that what is the wrong assumptions. You might have heard about this word meaning. The success of communication depends on the both sender and the receiver. It is wrong to assume that communication is the sole responsibility of the sender, the speaker, and those listeners have no role to play. Such an assumption can create barriers to listening. What I'm saying here, actually, the success of communication depends on the both sender and the receiver. Success of communication, if you want to see the success of communication, it depends on both the sender and the receiver because the communication is going on between the sender and the receiver. So the success of communication depends on these both people. It is wrong to assume that communication is the sole responsibility of the sender, speaker, and those listeners have no role to play. Such an assumption can create a barrier to listening because predetermined, wrong assumption. They're having predetermined mind and they're having advancedly Suppose I'm going to speak on the topic wrong assumption or listening skills. Okay, the people who are having that knowledge of this topic, so they can assume whatever they are thinking, whatever they have seen outside in their own prospect. So whatever I'm speaking here, they cannot listen because already they have predetermined something in their mind. So if they are having such kind of things, so the speaker, whatever is speaking, so we cannot listen the speaker words. So that is a problem. So that's why whatever we have to keep it and let them speak. The people, whatever they want, whatever they are speaking, whatever they are giving presentation. So we have to let them speak, then we have to respond. Okay. So this is about wrong assumption. Okay. Cultural barriers. My dear, see, if you look at this cultural barrier, wherever we live, you are going to be influenced by the attitudes, customs, and practices of the people around us. Those basic elements are the definition of culture. When a person of one culture encounters the beliefs and resulting action of another culture, obviously, a clash can occur. This is known as a culture barrier because you may understand that while you are reading about it, culture, yes, because the people having different culture, different custom, different opinions, or they're having different beliefs according to their culture, according to their way of living, according to their religion. Okay, so these kind of people, wherever they live, wherever they are, and if you take any locality, Hyderabad, so if you take any street, in that street, all variety of the people, their culture, different background, culture, beliefs, religion. Okay, so that time we can observe, we can notice, because sometimes it may occur not to understand each other because they are having different background practices, their culture. Because of their culture, they may not understand my culture. I may not understand their culture. I may not understand their opinion because their opinion, their view, their ideas based on their culture, my opinion, my ideas based on my culture. So sometimes it leads to not to understand what is going on among the people. So this is a major part, not to become an effective listener. So this is one of the difficulty while listening to the people. So if you have these kind of things, so we try to avoid this because we have to respect to every religion, culture, their beliefs. Okay, so that is irrespective of all the culture, all the religions. So we have to give the respect, equal respect to everybody. Respect means we have to give the respect to their opinions, their culture. Okay, so if you maintain this, definitely we can able to understand the people whatever they are expecting from us, what we are expecting from them. Okay, so next one, gender barriers. Communication research has shown that gender can be barrier to listening. Studies have revealed that men and women listen very differently and for different purposes. Women are more likely to listen for the emotion behind the speaker words, when men listen more for the facts and the content. Example, a salesperson giving a demonstration of new type of office equipment may be asked by two colleagues if the equipment will work without problem and respond by saying sure. So if you look at these gender barriers, the men and women, is if you take that one product, just imagine one salesperson. He came to our house, he come to our house and he's going to sell that product. Okay, when if you take the one family, wife and husband, wife, the way she's responding different, and the husband, the way he's looking at the facts, the quality of the product. Okay, so how it is going to work. Right? These are all things the men, they can see and they can check it, they can search it. But whereas if you come to the women, so they cannot see these are all things. They can see only emotions. What are the emotions while he's explaining, while he's giving demonstration. Okay, she can look at the emotions of the, a salesperson. Then she can tell, yes, we can buy it. So like this, the gender barriers we have, men and women. The women they have a different, perspective to looking at the particular thing, and men have a different, uh, mindset to notice and to find out the things which is fact and which are linked with the emotions. Okay, this is one of the gender barriers. Okay, next one, lack of training. Listening is not an inborn skill. People are not born good listeners. They have to develop the art of listening through practice and training. Lack of training in listening skills is an important barrier to listening in the Indian context. Lack of training, we don't get any training because by birth, so we tend to get that listening part from our parents, from our relatives, from our brothers and sisters. Okay, we don't have much enough training, especially for listening. So that's why sometimes we do the mistakes, especially we don't know how to listen to the people. Okay, because why? Because we don't take any training for especially listening. We may take the training for speaking, but we don't take we didn't see anywhere because we didn't hear any word also, because from the people have taken the training for listening, right? So listening by birth it comes, and by education we can, and by getting the words from the elders, and we can listen how to listen, how should be before the people when they're talking. So these are all things by birth we'll get it, and by getting experience, okay, we'll get it. But your lack of training also, it's one of the major difficulty to listen effectively. Okay, bad listening habits. So you can see that bad listening habits, not only for this image and this habit you can see from our classroom, especially the students when they are having a class, right? So they are sitting in the class, and when the class is going on, then some students they cannot see they're unable to see the teacher what she's explaining, what he's explaining, right? So most people, very average listeners who have developed poor listening habit, that are ought to sit and act as barrier to listening. For example, some people have the habit of fit attention, right? The students, especially if you look at the classroom, right? When you look at yes, then you can act yes, yes sir, yes I'm getting, yes sir. So as if he's paying attention, but he cannot pay the attention. He may pay the attention, that is a fake attention. Okay, so these kind of habits we have. So this is a major difficulty to listening effectively. Okay, so some one more and very interesting thing here, bringing in emotion. Emotions act the barriers to effective communication. A listener's senses are not likely to be functioning at their optimum level when he or she is hungry. Likewise, it is not possible to understand or appreciate what the speaker is saying if the listener is excessively sad. Because if you might have seen in the, because I would like to give the examples from the classrooms only. The students, especially when they are in the classroom, right? So they have been connecting, since they are connecting with many things. They are engaged with many things before they are coming to college. Okay, in the morning they have been connecting with many people, and they have been connecting with many things. Okay, when they are come to college, when they are sitting in the classroom, so again they are remembering the things, right? So unnecessarily they are bringing the unnecessary emotions, which is not relevant, which is not important. So if you bring such kind of emotions, which is not necessary for that subject at that particular time, so it is a very major barrier to listen, because what is going on in the classroom, we may not listen. Fear. So it is a very, because a very familiar word, fear, fear, fear. Everybody, not only students here on this planet, everybody, human being is having some kind of fear. That is based on their experience, based on their level, level of balancing. Right? They can understand the meaning, meaning of the fear. Actually, that is just we created that one kind of emotion, feeling. Right? So we created ourselves actually. Fear, no, nothing. Just even we don't have any medicine also to overcome this. But because of this feeling, like the people they are losing many things, they are missing many things. Especially my dear students, you people fear. There is no any fear. Just you are creating yourself. Try to put it out. Don't think about it. Whatever you want, do it. That's it. Once if you come out from your fear, once if you put it outside, you can do many things in your life. That is about the barriers of listening. Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.